Hey guys, welcome to the Rug Talk podcast. I'm your host, Aryan Davachi. Excited to be here today. Got a really special show in store for you guys. We're at a beautiful home in Atherton, California, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Wanted to first start off with our intros. Her trend-setting yet timeless interiors to opening the first boutique showroom on the peninsula. She finds joy in trailblazing and inspiring others through beautiful design, effortlessly chic style, and flawless entertaining. And I can say the entertaining that I've seen is pretty flawless. She spends more than 13 years practicing public relations and marketing in New York City, Denver, and Silicon Valley before changing careers once she and her husband started remodeling their home together 20 years ago. That remodel inspired her to pivot and start her own interior design business in 2006, followed by opening of Evars and Anderson in 2011. After spending almost a decade growing her interior design business into a highly sought-after firm in the San Francisco Bay Area and beyond, her entrepreneurial spirit reemerged. In 2020, after noticing a lack of resources for the design community south of San Francisco, she saw an opportunity and conceived Evars Collective as a multi-line artisanal showroom and collaboration hub for the interior design community. 2024 brought some challenges her way, but as a seasoned entrepreneur, she knows when it's time to make a change. We'll get into that and more later in this podcast. We'll share what her next planned move is moving forward. Guys, it's a pleasure to introduce Nancy Evars to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Our next guest's journey started through her studies and worked at several notable high-end interior design firms over the past 12 years. Coupled with her leadership roles in the interior design community, vividly illustrates her passion for art, sustainability, and her deep understanding of how design impacts individuals, particularly in the field of neuroaesthetics. Throughout her career, she has held various leadership roles, including president of the California Peninsula chapter of ASID, completing a lead internship, and currently holding positions with ASID, the Boys and Girls Club of Silicon Valley, and the Bay Area Furniture Bank. She is dedicated to promoting sustainable design practices, advancing DEI efforts in the interior design profession, and giving back to the community while enriching the lives of her clients through thoughtful design choices. As the founder and driving force behind CRC Design Studio and Cita Rugs, she remains dedicated to her passion for art and design. Her creative process draws from a myriad of influences spanning art, architecture, nature, and cultural to craft designs that are as unique as each client. The inspiration for her rug line stemmed from her desire to innovate in rug design and create something new and fresh. Her debut capsule collection, influenced by her love of pre-Columbian art and her deep connection to her roots, has been well received. Anticipated the release of her second capsule collection in the fall of 2024, promising another exciting chapter in her creative journey. Guys, it's a pleasure to welcome Cita Rojas-Sila to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Aryan.
Of course. It's a pleasure to be with you guys today and to do the show. We have a lot to discuss, and we're going to jump right into it. I personally love the design business. I love the design community. I'm curious to know, how did you guys get started with your profession as an interior designer?
I'll jump in. So I had been, as you had mentioned, working in PR and marketing in the last 6 years at Yahoo down in the South Bay. And I was on maternity leave. We decided to build a house, our first house, remodel our first house, and just started making a lot of decisions myself and really, really enjoying it. And by the time my daughter was born and I was done with maternity leave, I went back in Yahoo, quit, and started helping friends with their houses, and it just kind of grew from there. So that was 20 years ago.
True entrepreneurial spirit. Love it. Cita?
I think I've always been drawn to interior design since I was very young, and so I think my path started out that way right out of high school. It was just something that I have been passionate about for a very long time. So
amazing. So, being in a career that you're passionate about, it really speaks volumes, because what you put out, people really gravitate towards it, and it shows for itself. So as you guys do what you do, what's your passion to drive this?
I think for me, I'm passionate about the impact that we can make on the human experience and how we can shape the lives of our clients for many years to come after we're done working on the project, right? And so also the things that we select affect the planet, and I think that our impact on the planet is also really important. So there's a lot of driving factors for me in terms of why I'm passionate about interior design.
And to piggyback on that, I would say a lot of that is similar for me. From the beginning, when I started working with clients and not just my home, to see their joy and their excitement over the things that I've designed and the materials we've used, and just their feeling of that sense of home when they walk in their house, and that's a gift I've given to them, and it makes me feel really good.
You know, it's special. You know, I work with a lot of designers, and I'm fortunate enough to see the reaction of the clients' faces when the home is complete, or they're walking for the first time. It's a special moment because you guys have created this special location for them to spend time in, and it lasts, like you said, forever.
Yeah.
And they're able to really enjoy it. That's beautiful to see. What's a project that you've worked on that's been your best one so far? Of course, there's a lot of them. But what sticks out to you when you think of a
I don't know
project?
that I can select a best one, but definitely one that had a lot of impact for me was when I was doing my lead internship, and we worked on a commercial building at the West Valley College campus. And that was my first time working on a lead certified building. And I saw how even the smallest choices that we were making were really affecting the planet and really affecting the design itself. That for me was very impactful because I knew that my choices would make a real difference. Yeah.
And I'd say I completed a project in the Hamptons last year, and it was my first project that I really did from start to finish after I closed down my previous design business. I had a business partner for 10 years. So this is the first time that I was getting to create the client experience from beginning to end. And luckily I had an amazing client, and we really just jived so well. But with it being, across the country, and really just my ability to take complete ownership of it, and the experience was amazing, and that doesn't always happen. So I felt really validated after it was all done, and just felt like, okay, this is, again, my passion.
Sure.
And then what I've created for them. And so I'd say that's one of my favorite projects.
So the take I would take from it is, one, having amazing clients. That always makes it fun.
Yeah.
And then sort of having the options to do what you need to do to bring that back to life for the client.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
absolutely.
And Cita, you talk about a project you did with LEED. Can you sort of explain how detailed that kind of project is? Because it's not easy getting a building approved for a LEED.
No, it's not easy. You have to go through a list of, targets that you have to meet, and every item has a point system, and you need to accumulate a certain amount of points to become either silver, gold, or platinum. And it's a intricate process. It does require a lot of teamwork because there are so many components, especially for a commercial building, that it just requires a lot of really good teamwork. But the process is lengthy, but it's it pays off in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I've had the pleasure of working with you on creating the Casa Cita rugs, and I get a chance to firsthand see how creative your eye is when you put things together. So would love to talk a little bit about the rug line that you've created and what inspired you, and also, where it really came from.
Yeah, I think there were a combination of things happening. I've always been a creative person, so I think there was just some part of my creativeness that needed to come out, and I also wanted to do something that was really connected to my roots. I've always had a love for pre-Columbian design, artwork, the carvings, the patterns. They're timeless, right? You look at them today, things that have been carved into the sides of pyramids or inside temples, and they still look gorgeous today, right? So, and I really wanted to highlight that part of my roots. And so the first capsule collection came from an inspiration of that. I have a love of art history in general, so I think I'm going to continue to draw from that for future collections as well. Maybe not necessarily from Aztec and Mayan designs like this first, capsule collection was, but definitely I will be dipping into to other art history topics.
Sure, and I'm a big fan, so I'm always excited to see.
I
the
wanted
new
to see
design.
something new on the market too, something that hadn't been
And they are.
put out
Yeah,
there.
they
So
really
They're
are.
very different. They're very unique, and
Yeah.
I see rugs all the time, just doing what I do, and immediately I gravitated to the design. I was like, okay, I haven't seen this, and I love it. And we're actually sitting on one, and we'll talk
Yes.
about it. And funny enough, we're all matching the rug.
Of course.
Of course. So Nancy, 2004, you did the San Francisco Decorator Showcase House.
Yep.
It was an incredible space you designed.
Thank you.
Not only because it was absolutely beautiful, because personally for myself, it was a space that I'll never forget. When I think of a particular color, it will always take me back to that space.
Thank you.
So I would love to hear your story on how you guys sort of came up with the idea for the
Yeah.
space and how you were able to incorporate the Olin rug that we're sitting on
Yeah.
into the project.
So when I toured the house on the designer days, when you get to, designers are invited to walk through the house and see if you want to spend your week leading up to Christmas putting together concepts.
insanity.
It was insanity. As soon as I walked in the house, it just felt like me. And, I like nice things. It was $32 million, so
Sure.
not shocking. But it really just the style of the house and the classic, sort of a Gilded Age type of feel. And as soon as I stepped into the house, the trim work in the entry, I just knew this was the room I wanted. And so immediately I went back to my showroom, and my brand color is this, sort of burgundy color and pinks, and so was pulling wallpapers, and really the design came kind of pretty easy to me. But what I was stuck on was the rug. And I had to think about, well, it's a really high traffic area. It's also a room that will be used for checking people in. And so it had to have kind of a function to it. It couldn't just look pretty. So I reached out to Cita because she has been a huge supporter of Evars Collective, like from the beginning, and we've connected over the last few years. And she had told us, hey, by the way, here's some exciting news, probably a couple months before, maybe a month before. So I called her and I sent her a picture. I'm like, this is what I'm thinking. And she sent back this rug, and it was like kismet.
Right.
Like, this is it. And I have to say, it turned out beautifully. It was a showstopper in the room. And we got so much amazing feedback on it. So it was really, really special. And I'm so grateful that she contributed to the room and that you contributed to the room.
And that we got it in the amount
In
of time.
time.
Like it was like record time for us to get a rug this size,
This size.
this custom.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But if something's meant to be, and like you said, Kasmat, if it's meant to be, it's going to be. I mean, when I saw the mood board, and I said, well, okay, this was the ideal rug for this space. It was it was perfect.
I know.
But again, it was just one of those spaces that personally I'll never ever forget because it was such a beautiful design room.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. I'm really proud of it. Thank you.
I love looking at the photos at all times.
Me too.
So, you're an entrepreneur. You're busy. You've created some successful businesses. You're in the path of closing one chapter with Evars Collective, and would love to hear what's next in store for Nancy.
Yeah. Sort of having the showroom these last 4 years has been amazing, and the connections I've been able to make with designers and the design community in the Bay Area and beyond. But this year was a little tough from a personal perspective. My mom passed away, and
I'm sorry to hear.
thank you. And I was back and forth, really feeling like I was stretched so thin. I had to go to Mississippi several times in the winter and spring, and it just kind of brought some clarity to me at this stage in my life, and was really feeling pulled in a million different directions. And so I felt for myself and my family, I needed to take a step back a little bit.
Sure.
And so, but I didn't want to go off into retirement and spend my days playing golf, although I've gotten pretty
Which
good.
is fun to do.
So when we opened up the showroom, at the same time, I had opened up a club for designers. A lot of times the design community works in silos, and really could need a friend in the industry to bounce ideas off of, vent, ask for their wallpaper installer. So we ended up with about 25 designers and really amazing type of community. So I want to continue doing that. At the same time, I love working with brands, and I like being a sort of a collaborator and a connector. And so those are sort of my two mantras going into 2025 and what Evars Collective 2.0 is going to look like. So I'm still working on some things, but it will sure be the club and lots of collabs with sort of designer lines and brands. So
I consider myself a connector. I love connecting people together. So the fact that you're doing that for the design industry, I think it's amazing, because I personally feel the design community in a whole, it's so collaborative.
Yeah.
People love sharing ideas. People love, doing things together. So I'd love to hear more about the club, and hopefully all the success on the club.
Thank you.
In your bio, I do got to bring this up. In your bio, you say you love entertaining.
Yes.
Now, if anybody follows you on Instagram, which they should, okay, you throw some incredible
Thank you.
events. What's your passion behind throwing parties?
Again, that's sort of bringing people together. I've joked in the past, like, setting a table is my love language. Like, I think about, who's sitting next to one another, and how the effort that I put into an evening with friends or colleagues, like, you put in that kind of effort, and you're showing your guests, like, that you love and appreciate that they've made the time to come to your house and spend time with you. So I feel like it's sort of a gift to who I'm entertaining, that I put the effort in, the menu, the place settings, the flowers, just the whole
That's
night.
Beautiful.
So yeah.
That's what, and Cita, you've attended a few of these wonderful events.
I have.
So the question for you is, what stands out to you? Of course, the detail to everything, but is there one word that sort of sticks out to you when you attend the events?
Yeah, I think it does have to be love. I feel like Nancy really curates every detail for the guests that are attending. And I've been to several of her events, and every single one is different. And, she does make you feel welcome. The little name cards with your name handwritten on them, the color palette, everything, the flowers. It just makes you feel like you're really appreciated, and that she just cares about you. So, yeah.
It's special.
Thank you.
It's very special.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing the stories. It sort of took me to the events as well, too. So we're getting to the part of the show where I call the rapid round of questions. I'll fire away some shots, and you guys answer as it comes. So, favorite place you visited and why?
Japan. I love the first time I went to Japan, I fell in love with their culture, and the architecture, their aesthetic, simple but elegant. Everything about the country just drew me in, and that was just my first time there. The second time I went, I was ready to move.
Move there.
Yeah, I was
Really?
ready to move. Yeah.
I hear it's
It's
amazing.
it's just amazing. That should be on your bucket list.
Okay.
And we took a really special trip with ASID the second time that I was there, and we got to see a lot of behind the scenes things. Like, we went to a factory where they did kimonos, and they had been fabricating kimonos for hundreds of years from that same factory, still weaving them by hand with wool threads. I mean, it was just amazing. We got to see some behind the scenes architecture things, and it was just a really beautiful and an insightful way to see the country. The temples, and you just name it. It was just gorgeous. I'm in love with Japan. I would go back in a heartbeat.
All right, I'm putting it on my list.
And yourself, Nancy?
So for me, I'd say Italy. I had the pleasure of going earlier this year, actually for a mother-son trip, and it was everything from the food to the people to the architecture, the history. And we went through Rome and Florence and Siena, and then ended up in the Amalfi Coast, which was bougie, but
Nothing wrong with being
nothing
bougie.
exactly.
It's the best.
Drinking limoncellos every day,
Yeah, I can-
and it was really, really special.
Can't you just do that every day?
Yeah. I'm trying.
Right.
But the fact that I got to do it with my son, who, I hadn't
Of
taken a
course.
trip like that with him before and probably won't again. So, yeah, it was really, really special.
Well, hopefully you will again, but
Yes,
to be able
yeah.
to share that moment with him is
Yeah.
priceless for sure.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, so if you
Not
had
so rapid.
not so rapid, it's okay. It's okay.
You got two chatty.
It's the
chatty ones here.
storytelling that makes it fun.
Yeah.
So I call it wraparound, but we can go forever. If you had to choose, shot of vodka or tequila?
I was expecting this question.
Okay.
Neither. I'm actually a whiskey girl, and I actually got some whiskey
Oh, boy.
from Japan.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I will
Okay,
say.
okay.
So I'm a tequila girl.
Okay.
But someone introduced me to Japanese whiskey last year,
Yes.
and I've been ordering it when I go
Really?
out.
Let me get
It's
that
oh
for
my
you.
gosh,
Okay,
I
go ahead.
can't.
Look, of course Cita's got it
Oh
ready to go.
my gosh,
Thank you.
And
And it matches the
this
matches
is
the rug, too.
amazing. Of course.
Oh, I forgot to introduce our other guest.
Oh yes, this is Raymond Evars.
Raymond.
Yes, he's by my side a lot, whether it was in the showroom or here at home. So, yes, this
So
is
well
Raymond.
behaved,
So,
didn't make a
I know.
single
Look,
sound.
he's looking at the whiskey like he
Adorable.
wants some.
And they have a good sense of smell, so
Yes,
they're picking
yes.
it up. All
All
well-
right,
well,
cheers.
cheers, ladies.
Cheers.
Happy
Okay.
Friday.
Yes.
Woo, that is special. That is so smooth.
That is really good.
Oh my gosh.
And how do you pronounce that?
Hibiki.
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 Shout out to Hibiki. That
Yes.
was really good.
Oh.
Yes.
So, guys, highly recommend trying this. This is incredible.
Actually for you.
Oh my gosh, really?
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Cita.
Yes.
Well, like I said, I have just started on whiskey,
You can
so
add that to the collection.
good timing.
Well, thank you so
I'll
much.
put
This
it
is-
right down here.
On this.
This
Okay,
keep
yeah,
sipping it.
yeah.
I mean, it matches the rug. It
I
matches
know.
our attire.
Yes.
What a day. All right. So, favorite sport to watch or play?
Soccer.
Soccer.
Yeah.
And you have a background with soccer.
I've played soccer, when I was young. And my kids played soccer, and I love watching it, for sure. Yes.
And we have the World Cup coming soon to
yeah. Wait.
the U.S.
Yes.
And yourself, Nancy?
So for me, it would be football. I married a football player. My son plays in college. We go up to see my son play every Saturday in the fall. So it's literally my life in the fall, which
Amazing.
I love. Yeah.
And your daughter plays as well too. She plays basketball.
She plays basketball. She played flag football last year when California started bringing it around, but she's sort of zoned in on basketball, in high school.
I mean,
Yeah.
so sports family.
Yes,
Love it.
very much so.
Love it. All right. Favorite music? Start with you, Nancy.
So I love all kinds of music, but really sort of country is what my family listens to, and just my friends, and we love going to country concerts. We went to Stagecoach a couple years ago. I think we're going next year because it falls on my birthday. So yeah, it's a great, we took my son for his 21st to Vegas to see Morgan Wallen.
Oh,
so we
nice.
went as a family of 5, and it was really fun. So yeah.
That's
it's
awesome.
great. Yep.
Sita?
I don't have a favorite music because I listen to everything.
Okay.
I think it depends on what mood I'm in. And I think music can do that for you, right? It can be a respite for you.
For sure.
It could be something to get your spirits up. It could be so many things, right? So I don't have a specific favorite. I think it's just whatever I'm in the mood for. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. When you're really excited, what do you listen to? You just got the most incredible project and you're just super excited. What are you going to put on?
I don't know. That's a tough one.
Oh, a few more of these, I think.
Exactly. I know.
We'll figure it out. All right. I got to ask this because I'm a rug guy. So, favorite rug, antique, transitional, or modern?
I think for me, it would be modern. And I think only because I feel like with a modern rug, you can really carry it to your space and your colors and your client. And I do love a good vintage rug, and there's a place for that for sure.
Sure.
But I think there's more versatility with the modern rugs. That would be for me like my go-to. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I would say, especially after having the Olin rug in the showcase house, I'd say transitional. This can really go. I mean, it's a very traditional house.
Right.
But this can work in modern, traditional, or in between, and that's why I was so drawn to this rug. Historically, I've loved vintage and like Ushak rugs,
Sure.
which again can take a traditional room and just really kind of elevate it, or even a modern room. But I'm going to say transitional because this rug is.
This rug is
that,
special.
That rug is
It
this rug.
is that. It is
yeah.
that rug.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, if you weren't in the design business, what's another passion career you would have been in?
I think I would have in another life, I would have loved to be like one of those travel writers and just travel everywhere and write about it, eat everywhere and write about it. Yeah, that would be my other life.
So I'm going to give you a story about that.
Okay.
There's somebody that I actually know who does that for that's his career, and I see some of his stories. It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
I mean, he's eating at Michelin star restaurants pretty much every day,
Getting paid for it.
getting paid for it, and private jets around the world to
The experience.
experience the world. And he writes about it. But when he writes about it, you really do feel that you're on the journey with him.
Yeah.
Let me know if he needs an assistant.
So
Because I don't have
You need another job. Yeah.
So my wife always says, if he's ready, we're ready to pack a suitcase and go anytime. So I always text him, when you're ready, we're ready to go.
Exactly.
So yourself, Nancy?
So for me, it would be a sportscaster. It's what I originally went to college for. And I got sort of kind of far down the line, and then really got an interest in public relations and marketing, so pivoted. But you'll find me, especially during the fall, like all day Saturday while watching college football and, basketball season, going to Warriors games. And I would love the idea of, when I was younger. Now being on camera, that, kind of scares me.
So I can completely see you in the sports business as a sportscaster for sure.
It's like on the sidelines and just,
I can see that.
hamming it up with the players and
I can completely see it. You should still do it. You never know.
I mean, I'm getting the second half of my life, so maybe I'll do that.
There we go. Well, ladies, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for being on the Rug Talk podcast. Please let everybody know how they could follow you.
I'm at Nancy Evars on Instagram, or Evars Collective at Instagram as well.
Okay. Cita?
I'm at CRS Design Studio on Instagram and at Casa Cita Rugs.
And we'll make sure we put those all in the video so everybody could follow. Make sure you follow and make sure you subscribe and like, and it keeps this going. So, ladies, it's been a pleasure. Cheers. Cita, thank you so much for the
Cheers to the Olin rug.
Yeah, cheers to the Olin rug. Exactly. Cheers, guys. Hey, guys, thanks for joining in on another episode of the Rug Talk podcast. Make sure to follow us on our social media platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Looking forward to bringing you guys more content and interviews. Till next time, cheers.